Oh, hey there, financially drained citizens of America. Welcome to InformedTouristA.I. Today, we're diving into the states that have truly mastered the art of draining your wallet while giving you absolutely nothing in return, except maybe some potholes, overpriced lattes, and a deep sense of regret. Think of it as a reverse lottery where everyone's guaranteed to lose. These states have turned financial exploitation into a fine art, complete with sky-high real estate prices, oppressive taxes, ludicrous fees, and just enough hope to keep you from running into the woods to live off the grid, which, let's be honest, sounds pretty tempting after seeing what these states charge for rent. Seriously, you could buy a small island for the price of a studio apartment in some of these places. We put together this list by ranking states on their ability to milk you dry in the most creative ways possible. If they can charge you for it, they will. If they can make a tax out of it, it already exists. If you thought your paycheck was meant for you, think again. Welcome to modern feudalism, where the serfs are burdened with student loan debt and can't afford avocado toast. So buckle up, grab your financial lube, because you're going to need it, and let's get into this fiscal horror show. And hey, while you're at it, could you hit that like button and subscribe? Help me grow this channel. It's not like I can rely on my income after living in one of these states. The land where billionaires enjoy their waterfront estates while the rest of you fantasize about winning the lottery just to afford groceries. It's a place where the wealth gap isn't just a statistic. It's a way of life. You know, a state has a problem when the local bodega owner is also a hedge fund manager. It's like living in a parallel universe where everyone has a side hustle in finance. Their property taxes are some of the highest in the nation, and they wear that like a badge of honor. It's almost as if they're proud of how much they can charge you just for the privilege of living there. It's like they're competing in the who can squeeze the most money out of their residence Olympics and are gunning for the gold. And trust me, they're winning. If you live here, you better enjoy seeing a chunk of your paycheck disappear every month, because that money is going straight to the state coffers, probably to buy another gold-plated trash can for the governor's mansion, or maybe a new yacht for the state officials. The median home price is a reasonable $436,000, assuming you're okay with living in a shack an hour away from civilization. And by civilization, I mean a place with basic amenities. And by civilization, I mean a place with a grocery store that doesn't require you to take out a second mortgage to buy a gallon of milk. Yes, even basic necessities come at a premium here. And let's not forget parking fees so ridiculous you might consider biking everywhere. But then again, biking has its own set of challenges. Which, honestly, isn't a bad idea until you realize that the potholes in Connecticut are so big they could swallow a small car. Or at least give you a flat tire. But, hey, at least you can escape to New York for some affordable fun, right? Wrong. Don't even think about speeding while making a break for the border. Wrong. Don't even think about speeding while making a break for the border, or they'll slap you with a fine so high, you'll think you're funding an entire highway project, and trust me, those fines add up quickly. And if you think you can just park your car and take public transportation into the city, think again. The parking fees alone will make you reconsider. The train fares are so expensive you'd think they were flying you in on a private jet. And that's not even the worst part. And the trains themselves? Let's just say they're about as reliable as a weather forecast in a hurricane. Delays and cancellations are the norm. Look, I'm not saying Connecticut is all bad. They have charming towns, beautiful scenery, and more hedge fund managers per capita than anywhere else in the country. They have charming towns, beautiful scenery, and more hedge fund managers per capita than anywhere else in the country. It's a unique blend of natural beauty and financial prowess. But if you're looking for a place to live that won't bankrupt you faster than you can say tax increase, you might want to keep looking. The financial strain here is real, unless of course, you're a billionaire. In which case, welcome to Connecticut. Your wealth will fit right in. Please don't forget to pay your property taxes, which are definitely not being used to fund a secret underground lair where the governor keeps all the money he's squeezing out of the rest of the state. Or maybe they are. Or maybe it is. I don't know, I'm just a voiceover artist. But one thing's for sure, Connecticut is a place where the rich get richer and you just get broker. Alaska, the land of majestic mountains, pristine glaciers, and crippling grocery bills. You know, it's funny, you see a picture of a majestic bald eagle soaring over a snow-capped peak and think, I bet the cost of living there is reasonable. You'd be wrong, dead wrong. The median home price in Alaska is around $377,000. Now I know what you're thinking, John, that's not bad, especially compared to that dumpster fire of financial ruin we call California. And you'd be right. It's not bad. It's the hidden fees, the ones they don't tell you about in the travel brochures, that get you. For example, did you know that a gallon of milk in Alaska can cost as much as a decent bottle of scotch in a normal state? It's true. And don't even get me started on fresh produce. Let's just say an apple a day in Alaska will cost you your entire paycheck and possibly require a small loan. And the reason for these exorbitant prices? Well, it's simple really. Everything has to be flown or shipped in. You try convincing a moose to pull a refrigerated truck across the Yukon Territory in the middle of winter. It's a logistical nightmare, and you know who pays for logistical nightmares? That's right, you do, friend. You, the poor sap who moved to Alaska thinking it would be cheaper than living in New York City. Ah, Oregon, the land of craft breweries, indie bands, and enough fleece jackets to clothe a small nation. It's a place where people go to escape the rat race, live sustainably, and express their individuality, often through interpretive dance or artisanal pickle making. But let's be real for a second, folks. That keeping it weird lifestyle, it doesn't come cheap. Portland, the hipster haven of the Pacific Northwest, boasts a median home price of $511,000. And that's just for a fixer-upper with a leaky faucet and a family of raccoons living in the attic. If you want a place with updated plumbing, and no chance of contracting rabies from your own roof, well, you better start practicing your banjo skills on the street corner for spare change. And don't even get me started on the cost of groceries. Remember when I talked about Alaska flying everything in? Well, Oregon has adopted a similar approach, except they use locally sourced, organic, gluten-free, fair trade carrier pigeons. It's all very environmentally conscious, but it also means you'll be eating ramen noodles for the foreseeable future. But hey, at least there's no sales tax, right? Wrong. Okay, that part is technically true, there's no sales tax, but don't think for a second that Oregon is going to let you off that easily. Oh no, they'll get you with property taxes so high they could rival Mount Hood. New Jersey, the Garden State, home to Bruce Springsteen, Bon Jovi, and some of the most aggressive drivers on the planet. It's a place where people dream of owning a piece of the American dream, preferably within driving distance of a decent bagel shop. But those dreams often turn into nightmares when they see the property taxes. I'm not exaggerating when I say that New Jersey's property taxes are astronomical. We're talking astronomical in the sense that if you stare at your property tax bill for too long, you'll start to see the face of a screaming cosmic horror. The median home price in New Jersey is a cool $550,000, which wouldn't be so bad if it weren't for the fact that you'll be paying another $550,000 in property taxes over the next decade. And it's not just property taxes that will bleed you dry. Sales tax, income tax, gas tax, bridge tolls that cost more than a weekend getaway. New Jersey will find a way to tax you for every breath you take, every move you make. They'll be watching you. But hey, at least the pizza is good, right? I mean, that's something, isn't it? Ah, Washington State, home to stunning natural beauty, overpriced coffee, and a housing market that makes you question the very fabric of reality. You know, the usual suspects. But seriously, Seattle's median home price is hovering around $800,000. That's right, folks, $800,000. For that price, you'd think you'd get a house made of solid gold, or at least one that doesn't smell faintly of damp cardboard. But no, instead, you get to live in a constant state of anxiety, wondering if your house is going to float away every time it rains. And let's be clear, it rains a lot in Washington, which is another thing you pay for, by the way. It's like they've bottled up the tears of everyone who's ever been priced out of the housing market and are selling it back to you as precipitation. And don't even get me started on the coffee. Look, I love a good latte as much as the next sleep-deprived writer. But in Seattle, they charge you extra for the privilege of pretending to understand the difference between a cortado and a macchiato. It's enough to make you want to move to, well, let's just say a state with slightly less expensive housing and slightly less pretentious coffee. New York City, the city that never sleeps, probably because it's too busy figuring out how to pay rent. Look, we all know New York is expensive, it's practically a cliche at this point. But knowing something is expensive and actually experiencing it are two very different things. It's like the difference between hearing a joke about a clown and then turning around and finding that same clown standing behind you, holding a chainsaw and wearing Crocs. One is mildly amusing, the other is terrifying. And living in New York is a bit like that terrifying clown, because everything, and I mean everything, costs more. Want a bagel? That'll be $5. Want a cup of coffee to go with that bagel? That's another $6. Want to sit down at a table to enjoy your overpriced bagel and coffee? Well, you might as well just hand over your firstborn child at that point. And the rent? Don't even get me started on the rent. The median home price in New York State is around $900,000. $900,000. For that price, you could buy a small island, or a fleet of reasonably priced used cars, or you could just set the money on fire and at least have a nice bonfire to show for it. Massachusetts, land of the Freedom Trail, Harvard University, and property taxes that would make a Puritan blush. This state is a unique blend of historical significance and modern-day financial challenges. Yes, folks, we're talking about Massachusetts, the state where you can practically feel the weight of history pressing down on you. Every corner you turn, there's a story waiting to be told. And also the weight of your wallet, because living here is not for the financially faint of heart. The cost of living can be quite the shocker. The median home price in Massachusetts is a cool $580,000. That's right, over $500,000 for a place to call home. For that price, you get a charming, historic home that's probably older than your grandparents and comes with all sorts of delightful quirks like drafty windows, uneven floors, and a basement that occasionally floods with the ghosts of disgruntled colonists. It's like living in a museum but with more maintenance. But hey, at least you can tell everyone you live in a house with character. It's a conversation starter if nothing else. Because that's what you call it when your house is literally falling apart but you can't afford to fix it. Character, indeed. And then there are the taxes. Oh, the taxes, they seem to be never-ending. Massachusetts has a state income tax, a sales tax, and property taxes that are so high, they could be considered a form of historical reenactment. It's like a tribute to the old days of heavy taxation. It's like they're still trying to pay off the debt from the Boston Tea Party. One taxpayer at a time. The financial burden is real. And what do you get for all those taxes? Surely there must be some benefits. Well, you get good schools, well-maintained roads, and a public transportation system that's only slightly more reliable than a horse-drawn carriage. It's a mixed bag of modern conveniences, which, let's be honest, isn't saying much. The struggle of daily commutes is real, but the real kicker is the parking tickets. Oh, the parking tickets. They are a constant source of frustration. In Boston, they have parking regulations that are so complicated and confusing, they make quantum physics look like child's play. It's a maze of rules and fines. And if you even think about parking your car in the wrong spot for even a nanosecond, they will slap you with a fine that could fund a small war. It's a costly mistake. So if you're thinking about moving to Massachusetts, be prepared to pay through the nose for the privilege of living in a state with a rich history, a vibrant culture, and a tax code that's more complicated than a Christopher Nolan movie. It's a unique experience to say the least. But hey, at least you'll never be bored. There's always something happening, or able to afford to do anything fun. The financial strain is real, but the stories you'll have are priceless. Right, moving swiftly along to the golden state of California, a place where the beaches are beautiful, the weather is perpetually stuck on pleasant, and the cost of living is enough to make you spontaneously combust. Now I know what you're thinking. John, California is huge. Surely there are affordable pockets scattered throughout this land of sunshine and avocado toast. And to that I say, bless your heart, you sweet summer child. See, California's median home price is a cool $850,000. That's right. To own a patch of land in this supposed paradise, you need to cough up enough money to make a dragon jealous. And don't even get me started on the taxes. California loves taxes more than a toddler loves juice boxes. You've got income tax, property tax, sales tax, hell, they probably have a tax on the air you breathe, and you just haven't noticed it yet because you're too busy trying to afford rent. And speaking of rent, let's just say that if you're not already independently wealthy, you're probably living in a shoebox with 3 roommates and a prayer. So, unless you're a tech mogul, a Hollywood celebrity, or you've stumbled upon a hidden gold mine, which, let's be honest, is about as likely as finding a unicorn riding a Segway, California's dream might just turn into your financial nightmare. And finally, we arrive at our 10th and final wallet-draining state, Hawaii. Ah, Hawaii, the land of stunning beaches, lush rainforests, active volcanoes, and eye-wateringly expensive everything. It's a paradise that comes with a hefty price tag. I mean, we're talking about a chain of islands in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, so it makes sense that things would be a bit pricier. The isolation adds to the cost of living. You're essentially paying for paradise to be shipped to your doorstep. Every item has to travel a long way to get here. But seriously, the prices in Hawaii make the cost of living in California look like a bargain bin sale. It's a whole new level of expensive. We're talking a median home price of $800,000, and that's just for a modest little slice of paradise. Imagine what a luxury home would cost, and don't even think about renting. You'll be lucky to find a studio apartment for less than the cost of a small car payment on the mainland. Renting is no escape from the high costs. Section 2. Surfing the waves of inflation, and also actual waves. The cost of living here is as high as the waves surfers ride. But the fun doesn't stop there. The high prices extend beyond housing. Remember how I mentioned that everything gets shipped to Hawaii? Well, that includes all the essentials. Well, that includes groceries, gas, clothes, literally everything you need to survive. The shipping costs are passed on to the consumer. And let me tell you, those shipping costs add up faster than a gecko on a hot sidewalk. It's a significant part of the expense. You'll be paying $7 for a gallon of milk, which is more than double the national average. $12 for a loaf of bread, making it a luxury item. And don't even get me started on the price of fresh fruit. It's almost a delicacy here. It's enough to make you want to live off of Spam and pineapple chunks, which are surprisingly affordable. Which, let's be honest, is probably what the founding fathers of Hawaii intended. They knew how to live simply. But hey, at least the sunsets are free, right? You can't put a price on natural beauty. And the air is clean, the water is crystal clear, offering a quality of life that's hard to match, and you can practically taste the aloha spirit in every overpriced bite of food. So, there's that. Despite the costs, the experience is unique. Well, there you have it, folks. The top 10 states most likely to drain your bank account faster than a leaky faucet. Now I know what you're thinking, Curtis, this is all well and good, but where am I supposed to live if I don't want to be financially crippled by the time I'm 30? And to that I say, excellent question. Fortunately, I have another video queued up for you right here, detailing the top 10 most affordable states in the US. It's full of helpful tips, surprising locations, and of course my signature brand of cynicism and despair. Alright, now check out this video. Once again, please subscribe. I'm trying to build an awesome channel, but I need subscribers to do that. Thank you for watching InformedTouristA.I. See you next time.